just so special. It was so special.
And I was like,
Olivia Colman is going to dance and sing to Living on a Prayer. Wouldn't you like to see that? All those
we've all just turned into gibbering teenage girls.
I mean, these women are beyond extraordinary. And then going back home, I was like, wait, hold on, what? What is this life?
Hello, I'm Leah Greenblatt, and welcome to Entertainment Weekly's Around the Table with the cast of Lost Daughter. Here we have our director.
I'm Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I'm Dakota Johnson.
I'm Olivia Colman.
I'm Jessie Buckley.
And I'm Dagmara Dominczyk.
Welcome. Maggie, this is your directing debut, but initially you had wanted to adapt another Elena Ferrante novel. Is that true, before you found this one?
Well, I had read the Neapolitan novels, which were already being made into an HBO series. And yeah, I guess that's sort of true. I mean, I read Days of Abandonment, which is a brilliant book. And originally, yes, I reached out to Elena Ferrante's publishers about that book. They said that book has been made into a film in Italy, but would you consider this one? And I read The Lost Daughter in a weekend, and I thought, yes, I would consider this one. And in fact, I think it's a better match for something cinematic. So yeah.
And Elena Ferrante said yes. Mm-hmm. And then she wrote a whole essay in The Guardian about you making the movie and how she wanted you to make exactly the movie you wanted to make. So no pressure.
Yeah, she did a lot of really, I mean, I don't know who she is. She's anonymous. So I've only communicated with her through email, but everything she's done has been kind of secretly somewhere in the cosmos supporting me. So first I asked her for the rights to the book, and I said I wanted to direct it, and she agreed and gave me the rights, and she said, if you don't direct it, this contract is void. So she made it impossible for me not to direct it, which was at the time really a vote of confidence that I think I needed, and I took. And then yeah, while I was adapting, there's this like thing comes out in The Guardian, because Ferrante does a bi-weekly or weekly piece in The Guardian, at least she used to, and nobody, I didn't, it was like just my British friends just emailed me in the morning like, oh my God, look at your email. And it was from Ferrante basically saying like, as difficult as it is to let go of your own piece of work and let something be kind of like beyond the parameters of what you imagined, she's like, I know that this will only be worth anyone's time if Maggie Gyllenhaal makes this hers. And so she said, like, if it were a man, that she wouldn't feel quite the same way, but that because I'm a woman and an artist, that she knows how important it was for me to express myself. And that just came through the ether to me.
And at what point did you start sort of dream casting as you were adapting the novel into a script? Did any of these women pop into your head initially?
This is awkward, isn't it?
None of them. She can't say none of the above.
Looking at plan B.
Has to say yes.
It's funny, actually. I did always have Dagmara in my mind when I was writing. We worked together on a couple of things, but like never enough. And I mean, like a little tiny scene here or there where I would just be like, damn, that woman's a really good actress. And just somehow in my head, I was like, I don't know, I just always had you in my mind. Not even all that rationally.
And you told me that like a year before it even, like it was, I don't know, either we saw each other somewhere, you mentioned it, or like, I want to do this movie and I want you in it. And then for a long time, it just went away.
Oh, really?
And then it came back. Yeah. It's like, there's so many people who are like, I want to put you in, let's work together one day.
Yeah.
And
She meant it.
Well, also because I'm an actress and I've had a lot of people be like, I'd love to work with you. Let's make it. And you're like, what about the movie we're going to do together? I don't do that. I don't say it if I don't mean it. And then Olivia, you know, I was like, what's the worst that happens? I ask her, you know, like I actually had this feeling about you. I was like, I think she's going to like this, you know? And if you didn't, then I would just have to be disappointed, you know, like I could handle it. And so I don't even know how it came to you. I just remember
you and I got pissed in New York.
Yeah, champagne lunch.
Yeah, that was lovely. I knew we'd be fine when in the middle of the day I said, should we have a glass of something? She went, yeah. Okay, great.
And then we were both drunk for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But she said yes to the movie, so like. And then you and I talked about Jessie.
Yeah.
And we were thinking like, who?
I said Jessie Buckley.
Yeah. And then actually that weekend, Wild Rose was coming out in New York. I went and saw it by myself at the Angelica, and I was like, oh yeah, Jessie Buckley.
She's
and then then you like read the book and the script in a weekend.
Yeah, and loved it.
Yeah.
Cut my arm off. Didn't I? I didn't have to. I didn't.
That was in the part.
And then Dakota. Sorry.
No, I was just talking absolute bollocks. Sorry.
Yeah, then Dakota and I had a lunch together also where like we were just talking about this. Like we sort of had the hellos, oh nice to meet you, and then like 2 seconds later we were on just talking about the very deepest. Darkest things. And I thought like this lady seems like she'd be great in my movie.
I remember when you called me about Dakota.
Yeah, me too.
So exciting.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
So I'm thinking about
Who's
Dakota
that?
Johnson, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. And then I met you at that party and you said, hi, and that was long after you'd sort of decided all to, I just went, oh my God, look at that. The most beautiful human being I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She sent me a picture of the moment when
You emailed me.
Yeah.
I was in London. I was directing a music video, and I got an email from Maggie that was like, I don't know if anyone's talked to you, but I would really love if you would be my Nina. And I just started crying. I was so stressed out. And then my friend, who's a photographer, took my photo right at that moment, and I just have tears.
But then really, like, I don't know if you can tell, but we're actually all in love with each other.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I'd love for each of you to sort of give me the psych profile of your characters because they're all so interesting and in a very, maybe in a sort of in a haiku way, but to talk sort of individually.
No, I'm not going first.
Who wants to go
love
first?
Haikus a lot, so I'm gonna,
All right.
I'm gonna make that work.
Are you going to do a haiku?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Virtual 575 haiku.
I'm not doing it.
I know that from the posters on the subway.
I have a haiku for Nina.
Oh my God.
Ready? Nina can't breathe yet. She needs to explode and scream, but no one can hear.
Oh!
Thank you. So I'm done.
You can tap out of this interview now
Okay.
because you did everything you need to do.
I'd need to have an hour off and a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
That was fun.
That was really good.
I love haikus.
Jessie, let's talk a little bit about your character.
Our character.
Yes, the one you share. How much did you guys sort of communicate about who you were playing since you are playing the same woman? Did you want to do that?
We didn't really. We asked what accent we were
Yeah.
going to do, and that was it, kind of,
Yeah.
really. And it was also a conversation with Maggie, like, we just didn't think it was that
As long as we came,
important.
we knew where we came from.
Yeah.
And then Maggie was lovely about, you're clearly two different actresses. A woman will change so much from her 20s, 30s, 40s, you know. And it was lovely to have that freedom to just be us, but just to know where we came from.
Yeah.
And so we just tried to roughly do the same accent.
Yeah. Shipley.
Yeah.
Can't do it now. It's gone.
But it's even kind of, I think it's kind of amazing how different you guys are, you know, because it implies this massive change in your life, even over 20 years or even less, you know, like how, I think you guys I think the fact to try to ask an audience to pretend that this is the same person, I think is like kind of a joke. I'm not interested in that. I'm more interested in like, of course, these are two grown, fully formed artists. It's like almost a poem to say, we're asking you to believe that they're the same person. I don't care if their hair is the same color. I don't care if their eyes are the same color. I'm only realizing now that your eyes are like almost exactly the same color.
Never thought to ask.
But it makes no difference to me if Olivia's eyes were blue, like that's fine. But who they are, like, and somehow did create this kind of poem of how a woman does and can and could change. And I don't know how many years exactly, but you know, around 20 years.
This is a movie about ambivalent mothers, conflicted mothers. We have a whole canon, I feel like, of bad dads, but this definitely feels less usual for women. Did it make you sort of, I know at least 3 of you are moms, but did it make you sort of reframe the way you thought about your mother when you were little at all?
It made me reframe what I think being a woman is. Like, I think this is what being a woman and a human, whether you're a man or a woman, is. Like, you are going to change and have different needs, and really giving permission for us to have life with all of it, not just the kind of image of what it means to be a mother or a daughter or a wife or a dreamer or somebody who wants something in their life. Like, yeah, it taught me, I genuinely feel, and that was because of Maggie and also this story, I grew up into my being a woman in this, and it was such a I definitely feel like it's changed my life in a way. No, and that sounds so stupid, that sentence, but it has. That I see my mom and I see my sisters and, you know, myself as maybe a mom or maybe not as a mom, and I think it's hard. Like, it's not about being a bad mom. Like, it's hard to, life is full of complex choices that you have to make, and really you just want to live a life that you'll come to at the end and think, yeah, I did something with myself, and whatever that means.
Also, the idea of bad mom, I feel like it's so passé. And when I talked to Maggie and I got the script, I read the novel, and I felt like there is no singular path to motherhood. This does not make you a bad mother. This does not make you a good mother. There is. That's what I love about the way Maggie adapted the novel and what the novel's saying. Like, we are made of ugly, nasty stuff sometimes because we're human, and the fact that we're a mother or not a mother, there's no bearing. Like, to be a mother sometimes, yeah, you carry around a pit in your stomach for the entire day, knowing that something could go wrong, and if it does, you're gonna fix it, and you live with that knot. And sometimes you just want to, right? But then there's this joy and beauty and magic, and like, life is a miracle. All that. That's what I loved about the book. That it just says it. Like, when I read about my character in the novel, I was like, it's something like, and there came, my character, the most awful, fat, loud, nasty woman I'd ever seen. And I was like, yeah. But she's not, right? That Maggie was so beautiful. And now there was no ugliness in any of these women in a way that we played. Like, and so it's almost like it can't be put in a box. There can't be a theme, right? I don't know.
Well, like, we loved them,
Yes,
even with
yes.
aspects of them being ugly and perverse and broken, like every person in the world has.
And that's kind of Elena's specialty too, is complicated, real, interesting women.
And it is complicated. Like, it's just, it is. Whether it's in fake life or real life, it's like, and there is, I think there's more goodness from mothers living like that than actually living repressed lives of a kind of picture of what it is.
Yeah.
We're actually,
It's just a lie.
it's a lie, and like, women are great. Like, if you give them half a chance or give us fullness of what we could be, it's like so beautiful. It's so beautiful to see that.
I know that going to this little island in Greece was sort of not in the plan until the pandemic, but now it's hard to think of the movie without that, and it becomes such a character.
Yeah.
Did you guys have
Horrible time.
horrible?
It's really hard.
I keep picturing it like Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing, where you're all just like having long, whiny dinners every night and like getting on boats.
Swimming after we wrap.
Wrapping
and,
around the water.
Me and Jessie just kept finding each other after work in the ocean.
And it'd be like, the mood would be up. It was just great.
Because the whole island was a bubble. No one was coming on, and it was, and all the islanders were our essays in group scenes.
Yeah.
And so after, if you had at the weekend when we weren't filming, go to any shop and they go, "Hi, I was in your film." I knew everyone on the island by the time we finished.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
And it was October, so there wasn't like a real tourist scene.
Yeah.
It was pretty safe. You know, we did all the protocols you're supposed to do, and Greece, I mean, it's like, look, yes, I reset the movie to be here. And when you read it, I mean, originally it was an American woman in like a kind of unnamed Eastern Seaboard, you know, Maine type of like kind of gothic town, cotton candy and lobster rolls type vibe. And then, we couldn't do it. We wanted to shoot in Jersey, impossible during the pandemic. Then we thought Nova Scotia, but they didn't want us. And then there was just this day, like I just kind of really pretty randomly, or maybe not randomly, maybe more like from your unconscious, just pops out, what about Greece? Like I could see it in Greece, you know? And already I had said, like, she should just be English. You're English. Why pretend? You know, we do enough pretending. So an English woman in Greece, I think I can understand that. And then because the book was set in southern Italy, it just slid right in. And then there was no stopping us. Yeah. We couldn't be stopped after that.
I have to imagine that when you can't, you know, go home to your own house at night and stuff, that it kind of intensifies that sort of summer camp bond of a movie set.
Yeah.
To have you guys all on this little island where you're kind of...
I remember the first, after we had to quarantine for full 14, and the first time, and we almost, all the actors arrived almost at the same time. You arrived
I
sooner,
was there earlier.
And I remember Maggie said, come downstairs, because my quarantine was over, for a drink, and we're all there, and you can meet. And there was like guitars and Jessie singing, and you know, like I was
Smoking.
like, I was like, did my boys do their homework? Did Grandma feed them? And Olivia
And then
looked
just
at me
phone
and
over the shoulder.
She said, I'll never forget. It was such a big moment that stayed with me for the longest time, even to now. When you said to me, I was like, I should go up and like say goodnight to the boys, and you know. And she said, Dag, soon enough, we're going to be back in the car line picking up the kids. Enjoy every minute we have now. And it just gave me that freedom. So, I don't know, I just loved you for saying that.
Well done, me.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
Was it easy for you guys to switch off, because there's so many sort of intense dynamics between some of your characters, to go from kind of living with each other on this idyllic island to having to have some pretty kind of gnarly face-offs on camera, particularly between the three of you?
Oh no, it's fine. Because it's all pretending, isn't it? I mean, there's no method actors amongst us.
Yeah.
I don't.
No one wants a
had a
method
worse
actor on a
time.
Greek island anyway.
I had a worse time going back home after, because I think after having gone through the pandemic, this was the first movie I'd done. I think you worked right before you came, but I hadn't been on set in a while, and I think going from being so isolated to then being so seen in a way that is not just like fun and friendly and funny and wild, which it was, but it was also like very, very safe and very seen, like, you know, as an artist and as a woman and as a, like Jessie said, I think for me as well, there was like an ascension that happened in my feminine consciousness. I think it was like a discovery of new pathways for me. But I found going home really hard because a little bit of like where I had gone with certain things, and I felt maybe guilty about it. And then also because of being surrounded by, like, I mean, these women are beyond extraordinary. And then going back home, I was like, wait, hold on, what? What is this life? I have to do what? Traffic? Like, what does it mean? Nothing. It's just so special. It was so special.
You do need a couple of days of decompression after something like that, don't
Yeah.
you? I'm aware that I'm probably not very nice when I first get home after a job, because we had such a nice time.
Did you each read the novel? And did you want them all to read the novel?
It's not for me to say if they want to read the novel or not. Or really.
I didn't either.
I did. I just like to read.
I do like to just go from the script. I find if I'd read the book as well and fallen in love with certain bits, I'd have struggled to let that go. So I like to just, the script is there and that's my map.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same. I was like, Maggie's like, I'm going on a trip. Come with me. And I was like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So I didn't go anywhere else.
But it's I write sometimes too, so it's easier for me to say this is a book. This is a book story. And this is the film story. They're two different. So it was easy to just read that. Like, I hadn't read this novel, let me read it. And then read the script, and that's its own thing.
Yeah, every actor, everyone. I mean, not just the women who are here, but the men too. Everyone's so different, you know. And if Dag's like, I totally want to read the book, and and Olivia's like, no, thank you. That's for them to decide. They're the ones in the bathing suits.
Yeah. Wish I'd read that bit a little more closely. No.
A lot of you have played some amazing and very complicated characters on screen already. I'm thinking of you in Beast or Wild Rose, and you in Kindergarten Teacher. And was there something new in these women that you felt like you hadn't played before for each of you? I mean, I know it was new to you as a director to have your first feature, but...
Yeah, definitely. For me, my ideal would be to play someone different each time. That's what I find interesting in the job we do. Yes, I hadn't played this before. And so that's the first little sort of, oh, I'm interested. And there's Maggie, and then you find out there's Jessie, and you find out who's involved, and Dakota, and where we're going, who's cooking, and all of these lovely little pieces come together. It makes it all terribly exciting. But playing someone different is always my intention, hopefully.
One thing I loved about this movie is that I feel like a lot of films don't address in a non-salacious way that women sort of crush out on each other, you know, platonically.
Big time.
That I mean, we all get sort of obsessed. You meet somebody new and you just think, you know, and that happens so much between your two characters that you have this sort of mutual fascination a little bit. And that felt like a really cool thing to actually see on screen from a women's point of view.
Yeah. And actually all three of them, I think,
Yes.
like have a kind of, unless you guys, even you guys have a different kind of relationship, but in a way you're like the triangle with both of them. It's different the way you guys vibrate off each other, but you guys are fascinated by each other too in an interesting way.
The power dynamics between you two, I feel like, are constantly shifting. And
You talked about like playing different characters. Like I've never played something so big. And I'm not just talking about personality but like my body, you know, and the belly and my arms and my thighs. And Maggie made me feel so powerful in it. There was no even like, and I say this in a love, she didn't want to indulge that. Like, what? You're gorgeous. Get out there. I loved that so much. It was so freeing. This movie would have been maybe really cool and interesting with another director or a male director, but not. She made this experience so amazing because she's an actor, because she's the kind of actor she is. She was like the great note whisperer. She'd come up right before we shot and be like, okay, Dad, and right in your ear, you're in the scene, you want to like make, you know, you want to prove that you want to be friends with her and you want to charm her. Also, you had great sex last night, but you didn't eat and you're constipated. Go.
I didn't say
No, not like that. But, and I was like, wait, what? And then she would say, just let whatever drops in. Let's see what happens.
Right, you don't have
And
to
it was
keep them
this
all.
beautiful, like, she was definitely
I wish you gave those
the
notes.
boss.
That's
like,
her. She's
no.
gonna direct next, and that's
No, but like, she was definitely the boss, but was not controlling us. She was just like the truth hunter. That's all she wanted was to find the truth.
It also looked like
And
Maggie was having such fun.
It was
just
so
going,
fun to. What are you telling me? Yeah, it was so different. Imagine a man with
No, I will. I promise.
Oh, I want to know.
I'll tell you later.
Anyway, sorry.
Sorry,
I just
Dad,
haven't
sorry.
seen her in a year,
Sorry.
and I just thinking about it. It was the most beautiful thing.
Yeah. It was
have
fun
your-
to watch her
Yes,
enjoy
it. Find
just
such
having-
joy in it.
because I always wanted to, as an actor, if I will never direct. You quote me on it ever. But the thought of watching them go, oh, I want to do it. But Maggie was genuinely sitting back, loving, whispering something to someone. Oh, what's she going to do with that? Which was and she was having such fun watching everyone.
And then just go like, I don't know.
Yeah.
See what happens.
That's a really good impression.
Yeah. She'd say amazing things in your ear, and you're just like, what? Tripping out. And then go,
Yeah. Well, Paul does a really good impression of
what
him.
happens.
Have you seen
I
his
really wanna
impression?
see, no.
With the mask, because she always had a mask on and she'd go, take it down to have a little thing. I don't know. And put it back again.
yeah. But would say, I don't know, with eyes, that's like, I fully know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But are you going to know? That's the test. I don't know. See what happens.
Do any of you guys remember particular notes from Maggie that stuck with you?
Olivia.
I made a vow never to say this particular note.
Yes, thank you. We're very, very close, and she won't. But maybe like some other ones.
Sure. I can only think of that one. I wish I could tell you, but I promised Maggie I wouldn't.
Can't wait.
I remember one she said to you.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
You're hungry.
Yeah.
Starving.
I was hungry.
I got
a lot.
starving,
I was
thirsty, starving
thirsty.
a lot. Yeah.
Such a good note.
Yes.
Ravished.
Mhm.
Well, it's funny, Jessie, when I saw the movie, I had just seen Spencer, where your husband in the film plays Prince Charles, and it was such a different character, and he's so vulnerable in this movie, and you sort of destroy him a little bit,
Sorry, Jack.
which is life, that happens, but
He's also not that supportive of her having just as good an intellectual.
fair,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm good friends with Jack. We've known each
He's
other for a while, and
gorgeous.
also those two little girls.
Oh,
Oh my God.
those little girls.
Like because I was kind of separate to these guys because we shot like a little. It felt like separate in a way. It was like a little indie movie
Yeah.
before
2
everybody
weeks with
came.
the memories, and then
Me and I just adored those little girls. We were a real little team, and they
Yeah.
were so incredible
Oh.
and literally. I mean, I don't think they'd acted
No,
before, and
not
their
really.
little
Amazing.
hearts
They
were just
were
like. I
amazing.
kept saying to them, I was like, "Mind your heart," because when they were so it's such a big thing to let yourself
Totally got
be
it,
there,
yeah.
and they were just
You just felt
totally
it.
yeah.
They were amazing.
there, and you've kind of as kind of if they continue to do it, you have to mind your heart and like
Yeah,
protect it.
but those girls actually were safe. You know,
Totally
I
safe.
mean, we are my producers, 2 women who are mothers. I'm
Yeah.
a mother of 2 little girls, one of whom is the same age as Robin, who played the older girl. You know, Jessie is Jessie. You know, Jack is Jack. Both, you know, truly loving, caring people. Like those girls were safe.
Oh, and
Say,
I
I
love-
saw them at the end of every day, and they had the best day every day.
Oh,
And when they had to leave, oh God,
I
they were
felt
Yeah.
totally like we fell in love. Like
But-
they
but
were my
when they're-
daughters, 100%.
When you're safe is when you don't have to worry as much
Yeah.
about minding your heart.
Yeah,
Because
no,
we'll mind it for
totally.
you. We'll never
Yeah.
let it go over to, same with
Yeah.
everyone else,
Yeah.
like, I've got you. It's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
mind your heart. I'll
Yeah.
take care that you're
Yeah.
not in a dangerous place. And so I think that's part of why, I mean, they trusted you, those little girls.
Yeah.
They were, like you just called her Auntie Jessie, about who she is to my girls. I mean, and to those girls too, like their hearts were like handed to you every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They adored
They
you.
were very open.
Well, we
Yes,
had
so
that
emotionally
together,
intelligent.
we had to have that together. I think. That's why I don't think Lada's a bad mother.
No.
I
No.
think she's a brilliant mother, actually. I
Yeah.
think
And she was such a young mother.
she's
And how
cutting the thread of what maybe could have been passed down for generation of being less. And
Yeah.
she's telling and showing her daughters about who she can be. And yeah, we were such a little team, and I think they saw that. Like, I just adored them. They're amazing.
Why does everything you say make me want to cry?
Don't cry. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I like crying.
Well, she did cry kind of a lot too.
Cry. It's lovely.
How do you get Dakota's child in the movie has to cry a lot? How do you make a
Well,
child?
that was a different vibe than Jessie's girls, because Athena, who played my daughter, she was 4.
She was very young.
And she was very little and I think she understood that we were playing, but at first I was like, okay, I'm just because I love kids, so I was like, I'm just gonna be her friend, and got her like big bags of candy and tried to ply her with sugar, and she just was not having it. And I felt like this girl is like angry that she's here. I don't think she really, it was like some days it was really fun and she wanted to be there, but then after a while she's just like, stop. So I just let her kind of like beat up on me. And I think that's how we got these like really intense moments with her, where if Maggie says to her, like, if you're angry, be angry. She was angry, and she would rip my earrings out, and she would like pull my hair, and I was like, okay, that's fine, like you're safe to do that. But it was definitely a different vibe than the other girls, which I thought was so interesting. I remember meeting the girls playing Jessie's girls, and I was just like, whoa, so different. But I think that was also because she was
Just
so
being that little bit older, they really understood, didn't they?
Yeah, that you could play and you were safe. But I think with Athena, I'm like, I want to call her when she's a little older and be like, if you feel any sort of like trauma around this, please let's work it through.
With a kid that age, it looks like she's terrorizing Dakota, but really we're just saying, keep your hands on her mouth. Don't let her talk. If she starts to say anything, keep your face turned this way, camera's here, and just don't let her talk.
I think she quite enjoyed it.
You know, don't let go of her neck and keep her face turned this way. You know, so in some ways you make it like super technical. Okay, like I'm off camera just going like, now bite the doll's nose, bite her nose, bite it really hard. Now say you know, and she's just copying me. When she was crying that time, she did not need to be crying. Like in our movie, we just could have put the sound of a kid crying. There's no problem. Yeah. Her mom had to walk 10 feet away and she started to cry, and we let the camera roll on her. We didn't make her cry. We would never make any child cry. We let the camera roll for 20 seconds. That's it. It's over. Your mom's right there. We're back.
She's a baby. You know, she was
5. Yeah, she was little. Yeah. But some of the other stuff that looks like it's like really intense was actually just like, copy me now. Now, you know, now jump up and down and say, I don't want to go. You know, and she just says,
it was funny to watch because she keeps going, because all little girls, or little boys and girls, no, don't pull someone's hair. Don't bite the doll of the nose. You know, but making him
she was like, I can do what?
You set her free.
Yeah. Really?
But that's also an interesting thing. I think that's what I learned from this, is that not to apologize as a woman, whatever it is. You know, like we're kind of being prim and like together, and actually all the things are the kind of dark, whatever you call them, like not to apologize for them. It's human. Like,
apologize as a human, but don't apologize because you're a woman. Right? That's the difference, I think. Just
want something, be angry, be it all, like brave.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the men for a moment. You get to make love to Maggie's husband.
On that note,
Peter Sarsgaard. No, you have such great guys in this film. You have Ed Harris and Paul Mescal, Peter Sarsgaard. It's kind of, literally every scene in this movie pretty much passes the Bechdel test. We have these guys who are integral to the story, but they're not at all the center of it. And did you pick guys that you knew would be comfortable with that when you were casting?
I just went for like the actors I thought were the best. Those are the people who said yes and did the movie, you know? And I
would have been really awkward if your husband said no.
Yeah. My husband I think he's amazing in the movie. Yeah, no, I think, of course, I guess there are some men who wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even think of it like that.
Unless I'm really been very lucky, I haven't met actors like that. And I think majority of our menfolk in our industry are not like that.
Yeah.
And they're artists and therefore have a different sort of thing. I feel fortunate. I don't think I could name any men that I've worked with who would have a problem with them not having center stage in a film.
But also, hopefully, what I wanted to offer the men was fully formed, interesting people to play. And so, I don't think any of the actors I wanted in the movie would have wanted to come be like a cardboard cutout in a movie. But like, Peter doesn't have a huge part in the movie, but it's, I think, a pretty compelling part.
Yeah,
it's a really interesting part. It's worth coming for a few days and playing. It would be to me. And I hope that they were like, they had a meal when they were there,
I do.
Maggie.
You're hungry.
It's always about food.
But I really do like that like you have scenes with Paul Mescal and Ed Harris that are not at all about romance or sexual tension. It's about tension, but it's more about getting
there's a little sex
to
in there.
know each other. Ed Harris is a very sexy septuagenarian, I have to say.
He's hunky.
It's not about sex, right? There's I think when I watch
there's sex all over the movie.
Are they gonna Yes, no. Him. You know, like I feel like there's sort of sex all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I stand
Hunger.
corrected.
Starving.
Starving.
You're all starving.
Ravenous.
One thing I wanted to ask, was it always going to be Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer?
Yes.
Was it hard to get the rights?
I can't believe that they gave it to me. I mean, we made this movie for no money. We did not have money for songs like this. But just like with these actresses, I was like, I'm just going to ask them, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no. I'm going to feel disappointed, and I'm going to handle it.
We want to be part of something good,
Yeah.
you know. Well, you might do a job occasionally for the mortgage. Nothing wrong with that. But it does mean you can also do the jobs you love, which won't cover the mortgage. And this was one that everybody loved and wanted to be part of.
Yeah.
And Roberta Flack, you know,
She feels the same.
she was so great. She and Bon Jovi. We had no business having that music. It's just, it was like a gift from, I said, Olivia Colman is going to dance and sing to Living on a Prayer. Wouldn't you like to see that?
I hope he hasn't seen it.
We need, well, I don't know if he's seen it.
Oh,
If he's coming tonight, we have to put it on and we have to reenact.
Oh my
that
God,
scene.
yes.
There was some
With him.
They were all so
Oh.
great. All that music. All those
We've all just
people.
turned into gibbering teenage
I
girls.
like the strong women, then you mentioned John Bon Jovi.
Well, we do have to wrap this up, but I would love to know if there is a way to get you guys in a movie together again.
Yeah, Maggie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make it. I will.
We could just do this every year.
Yeah.
couldn't we?
Yeah.
Just
It's
keep getting
Texas,
lost.
on an island.
It
where we
definitely
can
has
swim.
to be on an island.
No, I think we should come up with something new.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of good food.
In space.
In space.
Oh no.
Oh God, that would mean going in one of those planes, and I would vomit all day long.
What, a rocket?
You know the ones that, and then they
A
come down really
spaceship?
quickly so that you're floating. That's how they
rocket?
do that.
I'm not going to write
No,
that.
what do you think?
I'm not going to write that.
It's a plane, isn't it? Well, come on, help me out. Isn't it?
Yeah, to fake anti-gravity. That's how they,
So there's
Oh,
planes that can go really high, and then they come down really quickly, and they have like quick 2 minutes of filming to do.
Elon Musk, you don't want to have to
No, let's not do space.
You'd probably say yes to Maggie.
Don't you want to see Olivia
Tell Bon
Colman?
Jovi to ask
Don't you want to see
Olivia
Olivia
doesn't want to
Colman
be-
in Zero Gravity? He's like, yes.
Wow.
I'm not available.
Thank you so much for joining us. Lost Daughter is in theaters limited, I think, December 17th,
Yep.
and then it goes wider, and then it is on Netflix December 31st.
New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So now you know what you're doing for New Year's.
Yeah.
Cool.
This has been EW's Around the Table. Thank you so much for joining us.